Stephanie, Marilyn Wilson here. So excited to see you today. I've got one of my absolute favorite people in the world on the call with us today. So you'll be, hopefully you'll love her as much as I do by the end of the show. We're going to talk today about 5 hidden Homesnap hacks that you should know about. And Stephanie is, she's an expert at Homesnap. She's actually a broker and a Homesnap trainer and actually manages all of the training. So she knows a ton about how to use this product in the real world, right? Right, Stephanie? You look at yeah. And good morning, Tim and Mary and Philip and all of our folks that are here. Just awesome to have all of our people that come in regularly, and they love to hear the things. You're going to see Stephanie's got some really cool little secret little tips and tricks. Not secret, but kind of secret, right? We'll show you some cool stuff. So before we get started, just want to remind everybody, if you have questions, feel free. We love it when you ask us questions. It helps us really tailor the message to things that matter to you guys. So you'll see a little gray triangle next to the word questions. Just click on that, open it up, and then just type in a question and hit send, and away we go. And then we'll do our best to answer that for you. So as I mentioned, we've got Stephanie Rall. She's the Senior VP of Industry Relations. How long have you been with Homesnap now, Stephanie? It's been a long time, right?
It's 6.5 years, give or take a month or two.
And how long have you been a broker?
Oh, I opened my brokerage in 2005, so 15 years, but I've been a broker. I've been in real estate for 26 years this year.
Shh, don't admit that. You're much too young to have been doing that long, Stephanie.
Exactly, yeah.
Excuse me. So let's just jump in. I want to just quickly introduce Homesnap. First question I'd love to ask the audience is, how many of you have heard of Homesnap or have tried to use it at all in your business? It's a great tool. So Homesnap is part of this thing some of you may have heard about it called the Broker Public Portal. And the Broker Public Portal was started by brokerages and MLSs around the country that said, you know what? We're really tired of our agents spending all this time and energy and money curating new listings only to hand it to a third party who then tries to sell back advertising on top of their own listing, or worse yet, adds 3 other people that it isn't even their listing and sells advertising to them, right? There's a lot of brokers around the country that were and are frankly still kind of mad about that. So they partnered with Homesnap, and Homesnap said, you know what, they built their system to be really realtor centric, and you're going to see what I mean in a minute. Stephanie's going to show us some specific examples of that. But what's great about this is it's a national program. In fact, it has there's well over 1 million agents represented in all the listings that they bring to it. I want to say there's over 90 million properties of properties that are on the market and those that are off the market represented. So this is a very, very substantial national, competitor, frankly, to some of the people that want to charge you a whole bunches of money on a lot of things. But what's great about this is your listing is if you're the listing agent, you're the only one that sits on a listing. You're never going to see other people advertising to jump on top and to try to, siphon off data or siphon off people off of your own program. And here's the other really cool thing. Nationwide, Homesnap delivered over 2 million free leads to agents in the last year. So think about what that would cost you if you were going to try to buy even a few of those leads from some of those third parties. It can get really expensive, but Homesnap's here to deliver you significant listing exposure and lead gen at basically no price. So there's over 300 MLSs today that are offering this to you guys. So first thing I would do is log in to your MLS, look at the dashboard, the page that says products, or the link bed. There's a bunch of different ways, and see if you've got Homesnap. And if you do and you haven't used it yet, you'll see today why you really should check it out. Let's see. So I wanted to ask, so just for your sake, Stephanie, Pat Coughlin's using it. Dennis he's a pro. Lisa says, yes, it's awesome. Edith says use it all the time. So we've got some fans on the call with you, which is great. So she's going to show you maybe some things you haven't even known about, because Stephanie uses it all the time in her business. So she's learned these things just as a practitioner is more than anything else, right? So again, if you haven't checked it out, highly recommend that you do. But let's jump in and let's show them some of the cool things that you can do with this thing, Stephanie. It's really fun. Should I go to the next slide?
Sure, absolutely. Sure. Thank you for having me, Marilyn, and thank you everybody for joining. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to talk about a product that it's my heart. I love Homesnap. So you're going to hear that, you're going to see it. I use it, I believe in it. I helped launch Homesnap Pro into the marketplace with its first MLS because I'm a broker within that MLS and I felt very strongly about it. And our goal and our mission has always been, it's your listing, your lead. So there are paid products in Homesnap available. You can pay for marketing things, but we're going to talk about things that you don't have to pay for to market yourself. So that I'm all about the whole entire platform, whether it's paid things or things provided by your MLS, but I really like to focus on things that we can use that we already have. We already paid for. We don't have to pay additional money to access. So the first one I'm going to speak about is the messenger feature. This is one that I personally use quite a bit. So you might not know why it's a good idea to utilize it. So I want to talk about that for a quick second. So every home, once you're logged in as a Homesnap Pro user, and as Marilyn said, you can go to your MLS dashboard, you can find that out. You can also just download the app. So in the Play Store or the App Store, if you just go in and type the word Homesnap, when you download it, it's only one app. There's not Homesnap or Homesnap Pro. If you log in and it will recognize, it will ask you if you're an agent, and the MLSs are listed there. So if you don't know if your MLS provides it, you can't find information on it, download the app. At the worst, you'll have the consumer view and you'll see what the consumers see across the country. So there's only one app that you're downloading. Once you're in as an agent, or a consumer for that matter, once I'm in as an agent, when a buyer, I specialize in buyer agency. That's what I built my career in. So when the buyers come to me, they'll say, Steph, I want to see 10 properties. I want to see 15. You know, you'll get that really overzealous who wants to see 33 on Saturday, within 2 hours. But so you've got that person who says, I want to see these properties, or I'm interested in this home. So what I'll do is I'll take the list of properties, whether they email it or text it or however they get it to me, and I'll open up Homesnap and first I route out the drive, how I'm going to show them the properties. So this might be on a Wednesday, I'm going to show them properties on Saturday. And I go into each home and I scroll up a little bit, and there's a messenger feature at the bottom that pops up. Android users, yours looks more like this. It looks like this with 2 dots, and it's there. It's a stagnant all the time. iPhone users have to scroll up to access it. So you tap the message feature and you type in your client, who you're going to send it to, and you hit send. And on the far right-hand side, it shows you what it looks like. And the reason that I do this each and every home to the buyer or prospective buyer is because that messenger category, once you're in it, it will keep the status of that property current. So if I sent you 15 properties on Wednesday that you're going to see on Saturday, and 4 of those go pending or contingent or off market or sold, you would see that within this message feature when you open it again. So it keeps real-time MLS data. So it removes the conflict between myself and my buyer, who might have a printout from a third party or from another website, who says, Steph, we were going to see this property. And I'm like, we were, but it's under contract. And they're like looking in the other app. No, it's active. It removes that friction because it gives the real-time MLS data in that. So I like it because it's a nice reference point. I don't have to remember by what order I was showing things or what the status of all those properties is. I can see what I sent them and they can see it.
So if we're looking at this, so if it's green, just to be clear, the little green snipe in the top left-hand corner, that means it's active. The orange means it's under contract, and the red means it's sold?
Correct. And if you saw blue, sometimes you'll see blue there. I tried to capture like a screen of a few different statuses within mine.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's blue, it means it went off market. So you'll know it was pulled off the market. And as an agent, we can tap into those and get more details. The consumer can see more details, but we have agent-only features that we can see. That give a little more.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about Homesnap compared to some other mobile apps, and there's been several of them. This one was engineered right out of the gate to put the agent in the middle of the process. A lot of them were more like, let's just try to get people to look at properties, and they sort of support agents, but they really don't. This one, because of this whole pro concept, right? This thing is built for agents and it's built for consumers, but it's built really thinking about what you need to do business first and foremost.
Correct.
So
tools.
Yeah. that's one of the reasons Broker Portal chose Homesnap is they defined and were committed to making agents the expert about real estate even long before the Broker Portal partnership started. That's how the company engineered the solution right out of the gate. So that's why these kinds of things are meant to be so realtor friendly, because they're built for realtors and not built for consumers. And then you're backing into how do I get access to it too, unlike other apps. It's pretty cool.
No, we want the agent definitely to be the center of the transaction. And we do everything to support that agent is the center of the transaction.
So Sophie has a question. Does this feed direct from IDX? So in other words, is this all active, active pending sold listings from the MLS? So
it's not an IDX feed. Actually, we get a more substantial feed from the MLS that's a little bit, so there are multiple different MLS feeds. There are multiple different MLS feeds that one can access. So IDX is kind of like a broker site feed. We get a really in-depth feed that's above an IDX feed. So, but the basic answer to your question is yes, it is directly from the MLS. You can't manipulate this data. It doesn't get sourced from somewhere else. It comes directly from the MLS in real time.
And then real time can be anywhere from like 1 minute to 15 minutes, right? I mean, it's very, very quickly updated, I believe. Is that correct?
12 minutes is about the max time that we've seen over the last, since I've been with Homesnap. Now, I'm not saying that every once in a while you couldn't have something that delays something or something just doesn't appear. We need to know about those, obviously, but yes, 12 minutes max is basically the time that I see.
And that's not always the case, by the way, on other third-party sites. Some of them can take up to a data update. So when you get that conflict Steph was talking about, where someone says it's still for sale, it's like, no, I have the real data. I have the real-time data because I'm working through the MLS. And so it's a great way to position yourself as the one that really knows what's happening, right? They don't need those other sites. Talk to me as the agent. I know what's going on, and Homesnap helps you do that, which is great. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is really fun too. This is the newsletter. Oh wait, let's see. I got some more questions. Hold on a second.
Let me say something else. And another cool thing about that is no matter where your client goes across the country. So if my client decides that they're going to take a trip out to see Maryland, or they're going to go to Florida, or they're going to go to New York, wherever they go, they can open the app and send me homes within the app, search for homes. We'll talk about this newsletter in more depth because it ties into that. But no matter where they are in the country, it keeps the original agent in the transaction. So think referral fee, think about those things. Like, I don't always have to be with my client no matter where they are in the country to worry about, are they going to contact an agent off the sign? They usually come to me, and then I can pull my referral network and refer them out to an agent.
So the couple of questions here, wanted to maybe you can address them. So Daniel asked you a question, Stephanie, based on your last comment. When you're sending out those the list of properties that you might want them to take a look at, are you sending it to them via text or email or both?
Sorry, in-app messenger. I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. So okay. if we can we back up to that screen one more time?
Yep.
So
sorry. There we go.
If you notice in the center, where the center graphic, it has options where you can favorite it, and that sheet of paper with like the arrow, I can send it outside of the app, but I'm purposely using the in-app messenger feature to engage with my client. Even if my client doesn't use Homesnap, I promise you by the end of the transaction, they're using Homesnap, because everything they sent me, third party, Zillow links, whatever, I come into Homesnap and I just answer back in Homesnap Messenger, because honestly, it is easier for me. I can look down really quickly to see the status of these properties. It saves time for me. It feels cumbersome on the front end because you're going in and you're finding all these properties and you have to send them individually, but there's a method that it'll keep them individually updated. So it's a cheat for me. It's a time saver for me on the back end.
Well, that's what we like. That's why we're calling them hacks, right? So do we have a question? Julietta has a question, and this might be a good one for others that may be considering using Homesnap and have not yet. So she said, I'm still trying to understand why I would use Homesnap instead of the app that comes along with my MLS system. And I would even expand that question to say, why would I use Homesnap instead of the auto prospecting that happens in the MLS system too. So what's the, and then we're going to show you, we're going to look at key advantages today, right? But what would you say in general, Stephanie, about why would someone want to jump over to HomeSnap instead of using the MLS app that they may have available already?
So here's the thing. I always tell everyone that every app has something that we love and use about it. So I never say don't use another app because you have HomeSnap. There may be things within a broker app, an MLS app that you really, really enjoy or need, and that's great. But this is, I use this, you're gonna see the 5 features that I actually use the most out of HomeSnap. I picked these, so that's why we're seeing them today. Look at the app, see what it offers. There's a safety timer that I don't address within the app that many MLSs don't offer within their own. So there are safety features. There's an instant CMA. So I'm not sure what their MLS app is to speak directly to the comparison. We do have comparison sheets. You can always email me, srall@homesnap.com, and ask me any of those questions. I can actually get you a feature sheet. But take a look at the things we offer, and see if there's more client collaboration, more consumer-friendly things that you like within the app that you may not have somewhere else. I use several apps, so that's, there's no, I don't say I work for HomeSnap, so of course I love HomeSnap. I'm very passionate about it, but I would never say, use this as your sole thing, especially when you have several things that you're used to and like.
I can tell you, just from an outside perspective, we did some market research at Wave Group, our other company, probably close to a year ago now, looking at a variety of different tools that you can use from like in the MLS, if you said someone wants to look at, homes that are 500,000 and 93420, those types of setups, the auto prospecting things they have. We looked at HomeSnap, and we looked at a couple of other apps, like I think we looked at maybe Redfin and a couple of others. And what consumers, they really preferred HomeSnap, interestingly, because a lot of it was just, it was really pretty. I hate to say that, but it was really, they thought it was really pretty, that it was really easy to access the homes. And they also thought it was really easy for them to save the ones that they liked. And so for what it's worth, consumers seem to, they really like this one, and they really liked Redfin. Now, some of you may not want to use Redfin because, that's a competitor to your brand. I don't know. But for what it's worth, they just seem to like the visuals of it. It seemed more contemporary to them from what they told us. So
I do have a good answer also when it comes to a local MLS app versus a national app. So just remember, this does have national coverage. So as I was saying earlier, if your client, say your client is off traveling somewhere and decides to buy a second home. I know it sounds crazy, but it does happen to us every now and again. Somebody wasn't even in the market for something and they fell in love with an area and now they want a vacation house there. They can search within those markets in this app. So it exceeds your boundaries of your MLS as well. And it gives you a national footprint from which to draw from. And so again, think referral fee out of it as well, because they can contact you, they can favorite it, you'll see it. And I'm going to tie that into the newsletter segue, as a matter of fact.
I've actually done that myself, because we have a home in Florida. We live in California, and we've been able to watch both markets using HomeSnap. It's pretty cool. But yeah, let's jump in. Tell us about the newsletter. This is, on the show, we've been talking a lot about how do you stay in touch with your clients? How do you keep your brand in front of them with things that actually matter to them? And so here's another example of something, and this one doesn't cost you anything other than becoming, part of your MLS in most cases. But go ahead, Stephanie.
And inviting someone. So this is one of my favorite features of HomeSnap. And I think it's the most underserviced because we don't talk about it a whole lot. And I'm not really sure why, but I love this. So as soon as I invite a client into the app, whether or not they accept that invitation to connect or not, once a week, they receive a newsletter. It's branded to me. If you look, I know it's a little bit small, but you can see my headshot to the left. You see my brokerage logo to the right. It's
over here.
Branded to me, and it gives, it's a little bit, it tweaks a little bit. So the newsletter initially goes out to everyone I invite, and it has my top 3 zip codes that I prefer that it sends to them. And then it has intelligence built on the back end that as the client is searching, as they're favoriting homes, as they're sending homes, as they're doing behaviors within the app, the zip codes will automatically update to them. If they want to hard set their zip code, so they're only choosing 3 because it's a very, you don't have all the screenshots as to how long actually 3 is, but it's large on a phone. When they can go in and hard set 3 zip codes of their choosing. So I have clients who have California set, Charleston set, and a place in Maryland set as well. So they can look all over the country, and guess what? My face is on that newsletter. It's completely provided by Homesnap. There's no additional charge to this, and it gives your client a touch base once a week from you. So it's pretty cool.
So Robin has a question about the newsletter. She said, can you actually manually send that if you so choose? Can you say, like, I've just signed up somebody and I just want to give them a really pretty look at what's going on, or does it all happen automatically?
It'll happen automatically as soon as you enter. So I'm actually glad you're asking me this. People will ask me, do I prefer to invite people via text, cell phone number, or email? Email hands down every single time. Once you have their email address, because you have to have an email address that assigns to this. So I just go in and I invite my client into Homesnap with their email address. I tell my client what to expect. I tell them, you're going to receive a message, an invitation into Homesnap. I'm going to send you properties through there, and you're going to receive a newsletter once a week. And then I can show them, we have a settings here in the app, and you can take a training, or I can tell you this, or the training team can get involved if you have in-depth questions about this. But in your settings is where you actually set your zip codes. It's the same exact for a client. They go into settings and they set the zip code the same exact way. The behavior of you in the app is the same as the consumer in the app. So anything you can do in the app, you're doing it the way a consumer does it, except they don't see, like, showing instructions, pro features. They don't see anything that's highlighted in gold in the app, but it's really easy to explain to a client how to adjust settings or change their picture or their phone number, because they're doing it the same way you are.
Gotcha. So Edith asked the question, is there a way for me to find out what zip codes my clients have signed up in so I know where they're watching?
They can favorite properties, they can send them to you so you'd know that. If they've recently viewed something, you'll know it because it'll appear in your news feed. The short answer is no, you don't know exactly what 3 zip codes are, but if they're searching in something, if they favorite something, if they view it, you're going to see it in your news feed.
Gotcha. And you can always reach out via the messenger and ask them too, right? You can say,
Well,
what,
and if they're
right?
super interested in a property, they're gonna favorite it, or they're gonna send it to you. So that's just my experience. Of course, there's unique situations in every circumstance, but for the most part, I know where my clients are searching because they tell me, and then they say, "Can I, save 7 zip codes in here?" I'm like, "No, just choose your top 3. We're good. Yeah, you're still on the auto email. I'm still putting them in my MLS auto email, so they're still receiving auto emails. This is just a nice supplement to their top zip codes."
Gotcha. Stacy said she'd like to have all of California. I'm like, that would be a very large email if you had all of California. But I mean, you could. It's just that you probably don't want to do that, it sounds like.
It would be a lot.
Yeah, Lisa asked, where do I find the newsletter? Is there a place that I can, like, kind of take a look at what it looks like, or does that just happen automatically?
So the reason that we can view mine today is because I use an email. I emailed myself as a client to myself. Do not invite yourself under your MLS email because it understands that you're an agent and it won't send it. If you have another email address, if you have a partner, a spouse, a significant other, a sibling, whatever, use someone else's email address or an additional one. For go into Gmail and set up another one just for this kind of stuff and send it to yourself, and you'll be able to see what it looks like. Give it about 2 weeks to kick in because we do this like once a week and then we update it. So if the push goes through, you might have missed the first week push. Don't think it's not hitting you. It will. Check junk or spam, but by the second week it'll kick in for you.
Yeah, and I get it myself, and it's really helpful. And actually, I'm using it now to look at my own neighborhood, but just to as a consumer, not as an agent. So it is helpful. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So let's jump to the next one. And there's a lot of very detailed questions coming in here, and I would suggest to all of you guys that give what's the URL? Is it Homesnap University? What's the URL for that, Stephanie?
We have it at the very end. It's homesnap.com/or /university. You'll see it. You can go to homesnap.com. As a matter of fact, scroll down to the very bottom of it. It says Pro University. If you click on Pro University, it'll take you to the page, and you can request my whole team. Don't tell the rest of HomeSnap. I have the best team at HomeSnap, period, hands down. They're an amazing team. All right, I love the dev team too. I love all the teams, but of course your own is your favorite. They will get on the phone with you. They will get on a webinar with you. They will train your offices. Like they're an amazing resource. So don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. It's
so Daniel and Pat and Edith and Lisa, it sounds like, and Stacy, you guys have lots of great questions. That might be the best way for you to get an answer, and they can really spend time with you going step by step, so you can really understand what you're looking for.
Don't hesitate to email me as well. I don't mind getting the emails. I understand as a broker myself. Don't hesitate to email me. I have no problem getting you out to the proper resource as well.
What is your email? I'm going to put it in the chat box right now.
It's srall@homesnap.com.
Got it. Okay, I'm putting that in there right now for you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to just reach out to Stephanie and she will help you out. Okay, let's look at the next one then. Let's look at the Pro widget. This is cool too.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So this is released in a handful of MLSs right this second. I wanted to talk about something that's available, but if you have it within your MLS, or you want it in your MLS, let me know. We can work with your MLS for this. So this happens to be my home MLS, which does have the widget. The widget is integrated within the Matrix dashboard. So when I'm in Matrix and I'm looking at properties, if you see the little circle there, it's got a HomeSnap icon in there. If you tap on that icon, it gives you a check mark immediately. But if we go to the next slide, what actually happens is that property comes right out of your MLS dashboard and you receive a text message. So it texts directly to you. So that 202 is the text number that's coming from. We were based out of DC originally. And if you tap on that link, the last link there, it will open up the property right in HomeSnap. So I could be randomly looking in my MLS for properties, come across something that really catches my eye personally, or I think is perfect for a client. All I do is hit that widget and bam, it sends the text and I have it. I can scroll up and immediately message it to my client. It's really easy. I love the availability of that. So just your MLS may or may not have it, but again, we can have a discussion about it.
And we've talked about this before on the show, but don't forget that we're MLSs are democracies, right? Just like everything else. You guys are their paying members. And if there's something that you really like, don't be afraid to reach out to them and tell them, hey, I just saw this really neat thing on, a coffee chat on RE Technology, and HomeSnap was telling me about this really neat stuff, and we'd love you to take a look at it. Like, feel free to do that, because if MLSs don't hear from you guys, they don't really know what's meaningful and what helps you and what doesn't, right? So if you think this stuff is helpful, just send them a quick email and say, hey, why don't we have HomeSnap yet? Or why don't we have HomeSnap Pro? Or why don't we have this HomeSnap Pro widget? I just saw it and it makes sense, right? You don't have to be mean about it, obviously, but asking them and letting them know that this stuff is helpful really helps them prioritize what they focus on. So, don't be afraid to reach out.
Black Knight clients, so anybody who has Paragon, any Black Knight products, there is a similar feature to this. It's like a view in HomeSnap Lite. So just if you can't find it, let me know, or there's also training at homesnap.com, comes to us anyway, but just let us know and we can have a discussion as to how to help you or where to find it.
Well, Pat had an interesting question. I'm sorry, Pat, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but they asked, can the widget be posted on Facebook? Can you put it other places?
It's a really good question. So we get that a lot from brokers, like how can we incorporate some kind of widget within our page? So that particular widget was built specifically for the MLS interface. So okay. Yeah, I'm not saying that we couldn't. I mean, we have an amazing dev team, so I'm not saying we couldn't do something like that, but that one specifically was built for an MLS integration.
So Pat, if you think that's a great idea, reach out to Stephanie at srall@homesnap.com, and she can use your your request to send to her team too, right? Right, Stephanie?
Listen,
You need
we
to
get
get,
amazing idea. You know, I mean, we really rely on feedback from agents and brokers, users of the tool. So we're always open, even if you think like this is kind of crazy or whatever. We're open to every suggestion all the time.
yeah, so pass them her way. She's got a direct link to the king over there, to the king of development. So that's awesome. Okay, let's go to the next one. Tell us about the virtual open houses. It clearly has become a thing, right? We're doing this a lot more than we ever thought that we would. So tell us all the different ways that Homesnap can help people get exposure to their virtual open houses.
Yeah, so this is a really cool. So I have to confess. So I didn't use the HomeSnap store. I've never used the HomeSnap Stories feature. I generally don't have listings, so I don't use. So I didn't use it. It doesn't mean you have to have a listing to use it, by the way. But I don't create a whole lot of HomeSnap stories. So I sat in with one of my trainers' webinars, and I was like blown away. It's the coolest thing. So I had to talk about it today. So to create this HomeSnap stories, so 15-second snippets of something. They could be of just you talking about you for 15 seconds. You're a new agent, you have no listings, you want to specialize in an area, you had an amazing listing. These stories could be endless in their topic. So you can create a story within HomeSnap itself, the app, and post it out to your social media. You can easily share it out to Facebook or Instagram. And they live there, by the way, forever. So if you have a listing and it's brand new and you stand outside of it and you're like, this is my listing, you can add text and stickers to it. It's really cool to create a story. And you can post it out to those channels, and the listing may sell, but that story will still be there. So it's a really cool little way to share some information about yourself out there. And of course, there's no charge for that. And then the host your live, all your live open house links is a little bit different. So that actually is coming into us from the MLS feed. So that is, if your MLS offers it, there are a handful that I can think of that don't offer that feature at the moment within their feed. But if it comes within the MLS feed, if you enter that URL and you can join one of our trainings to learn how to do that in depth, we have training, 15-minute training specifically addressed to these things. So you can learn how to do it hands-on. But if you enter the URL into your MLS, it will feed within, if you look at the next slide, it will feed within the HomeSnap app and platform. So sorry, I skipped a slide really quickly. So this is back to the, that's all right.
We can do this one and then go back if you want.
Okay, that's fine. So here, right now, the virtual open houses are available on the desktop version. So homesnap.com, we can see those there. We did just put out a release for Android and iPhone so that you can actually see them on the mobile platforms as well. But it will show your live open houses within the app itself. And if we
to this point about that some MLSs may still not have live open or the ability to do virtual open houses. Some are calling them live stream open houses. But if your MLS has not yet done this, again, reach out to them because the capabilities are there from the MLS system providers. They just need to get it done. And I think a lot of them have gotten it done, but there may be still a few that have not. So if you're one that has not been able to take advantage of that yet, definitely reach out to them and tell them, I've seen it. How many times, if you guys have been watching this, we talked about virtual open houses probably once every three days, if not more. So it's out there. Do you want to go back to this slide now and talk about this?
And if you're ever not sure, like, I don't know what in the world they're talking, believe me, there are real estate terms that get slung around to me. I'm like, I have no idea what people are talking about at this point. I don't know what the new fad is. We have recorded webinars. If you want to just hop on and watch the 15-minute recorded webinar, if you don't have time to join a live one, no big deal. You can just figure out what you're talking about fully understand it. Make sure you don't have the capability before you pursue it. But of course, we'll help in any way we can. So this was back to the HomeSnap story. This is where I was talking about the 15-second snippets. So technically, I guess in a large scheme, you could create a whole open house this way, but you'd go room by room in 15-second snippets. So you technically could. I think it's a bit cumbersome. I would rather go into the magnificent kitchen and maybe show that for the 15 seconds, maybe not, or just maybe a nice unusual room or the kitchen as well, or something. Pick a few things. I don't know if I'd necessarily string together the whole 15-second snippets to cover the whole house, but you can choose. But back to that, creating the HomeSnap story. This actually shows the screenshots. You can add stickers, you can add text. You just hit the little record button. It's actually super simple. I thought it was going to be something really complicated. I was very intimidated by it. And I watched, as a matter of fact, watched Anna and Evelyn and Monice, as a matter of fact, all their versions of it. And it's really, really easy to do.
And when you say story, because that's another word, we had a conversation a few days ago about what's a hashtag, right? When we talk, this whole concept of stories is, you know, it started with Snapchat. It's in a lot of different contexts now, right? Literally, is it you push the button, and you just talk? Is that what a story is? And so you're showing something in the house, you push a button, talk about it, push, and then okay.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have the listing. You could be outside, like I was saying. So, you know, a lot of us as people who spent our career or are spending our career in buyer agency side, it's rare for us to have a listing. It's probably a parent, a relative, a friend, whatever. It's very rare for me to have a listing. So I would immediately think, oh, that doesn't really apply to me because I don't have any listings. That's absolutely not true. You could talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. You could have a daily coffee chat, 15 seconds a day. Hey guys, just checking in. Just get comfortable, you know, with the video and do yourself a few times. We're never going to love our hair. We're never going to love the way we, you know, moved our eye. I mean, sometimes I laugh. My team laughs at me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I did the Ramona from Real Housewives. Like, look in my one video that went out on Instagram. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. But just get comfortable and introduce yourself, because really those videos catch a lot more attention than just a photo. And some
stories then can get shared on Facebook or wherever else you want them to go. Is that the idea?
Facebook and Instagram and HomeSnap, yes, and they will live there for, like I was saying, they won't live on HomeSnap. Now, if it's created to an event like a house and the house sells, it won't live on HomeSnap forever, but it'll be on Facebook if somebody wanted to access it. Yes.
So we've got one of the MLS execs that's a big fan of HomeSnap, Tom Hurtelbrink from Seattle. I don't know. Nice to see you today, Tom. I don't know if any of you guys on the call are from Seattle, but he's a big proponent of this. In fact, we published a case study with him a few months ago. But he said that the word live stream is where he thinks we're going to end up on this, because the real estate standards is trying to lean us that way. So look for words like that on your MLS. That may be where we're going to go. And he also said HomeSnap's also created a link from listings on their site directly back to the listing brokerage from website's full listing detail page, and that's something that they're doing in his market right now. It can drive huge traffic back to brokerages or even to your own websites instead of the third-party portal. So, this whole you heard the idea of the broker portal up front. This is all trying to put you guys back in the middle of everything, right? Let your brokerages help you, let you help yourself, so the third parties don't just keep trying to charge you more and more and more money for it. Now, Daniel asked a question. I think it goes back, and I can jump back to the slide. He said, can you touch on the new roof again? Where is that? So let me go to here. How do you find that within the app itself?
Oh, that's the HomeSnap story. It's the new roof is just a sticker. So you'd go to a listing, for example, and you'd stand in front of it, or you'd go start a video. There are 15-minute tutorials on this. So just visit us. You can watch. I sat on all three of my the education partners trainings to watch how you do it, and they explain in depth. It's very, very simple. So I promise you, it's very, very simple. Just reach out. You can do training at homesnap.com. You can do me at homesnap.com, or you can just go to the homesnap.com, scroll down to the HomeSnap Pro University. It's one of our hot topics right now. So you'll see the videos right on the HomeSnap Pro University page.
Thank you for making those 15 minutes and not an hour and a half. I'm sure everybody.
We have long ones too, but I mean, like little snippets like this don't need to be super long. But we do record every webinar. Almost every single webinar that we do for our training is recorded. So you shouldn't have any problem accessing any resources that you could possibly need. But we'll make it as simple as we can within.
Gotcha. Okay, let's keep going, because you're getting so much great interest, Stephanie. You're doing a great job. So let's talk about the profile link. How does this help you?
Okay, this is so cool. So this is, as soon as you become a registered user of HomeSnap, you receive a unique URL that's assigned to you. So it's usually homesnap.com/your name. So it's as soon as you go into your Me tab at the bottom, if you go into your settings, you can see what your profile link is, by the way. You can take that profile link and add it to your email signature, just your regular email signature. And people click on it as soon as they read your email and they can connect with you in HomeSnap, which is really cool. So we're constantly thinking of ways to get you out there and get you branded and people connecting back with you as a real estate agent. So that's one way you can do it. So you can copy it, you can put it onto an email signature. There are other easy ways to do it. As soon as you click on that share your profile link, it takes you to, as long as you have Facebook and Twitter installed as an app on your phone. So some people say to me, well, Steph, I only see Facebook, I don't see Twitter. You have to have both apps. You have to be logged into both apps on your device, so Android or iPhone. Once you click on that, you can do a one-tap post or tweet, or post and tweet, and it immediately takes your HomeSnap profile and does a nice structured picture of you and any information you want to say easily for you to hit tweet or hit post in Facebook or Twitter. So if you follow the progression from the left, it's the link. Once I tap on that link, immediately I get the options to post my link out to Facebook or Twitter. I can make my audience, obviously, in Facebook. Make your audience public, by the way, in Facebook when you're doing this. Write something about yourself. Hey, check me out. I used to do really silly things, just say silly things just to see if anybody was, and I got some really interesting comments from my realtor friends. But it also shows them that you can do it. But so you say something about yourself and your link, join me, look at houses, whatever, check out the value of your house. You can get really creative. And you can also do the same with Twitter. We post up some language in Twitter, but you can modify it, you can edit it, you can add to it, delete it, delete from it.
And didn't you tell me before we started too that if I want to, I can add my profile into my email signature so it's always there?
That's what I was saying, yeah, at the very beginning. So you can copy that link and put it into your email signature. And I would do that. I strongly encourage that.
And Esther asked the question, but this is all free. This is all part of being part of.
Correct. I'm only talking about things that your MLS provides with HomeSnap right now. So these are already things, you know, I hate the word free as an agent because I feel like, well, heck, I pay my MLS fees, right? So I'm paying for all this stuff. But these are things that your MLS provides, yes, within their subscription or membership to the MLS.
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about this, but this is another great example. MLS has got to give you guys so many great things, and you just, you know, we all forget. We get busy and we think, oh, I've got to go find that next greatest and latest thing. The truth is there's a lot of great stuff sitting right inside of that subscription you're already paying for, and in most cases, it's not super, super expensive. So, you know, before you go anywhere else, go number one to your brokerage and see what they've got for you, because they've got great stuff too. Number two, go to your MLS, and I guarantee you that you're going to find stuff in both places that you didn't know that you could take advantage of. So, you know, they're great resources. They've always tried to help you guys, and frankly, we've just been all too busy doing what we do right now with a little bit of a break in the action. You know, we're okay. Sophie had a question. My link should have my name instead of me. Where did you say I can change that? Is there a place where do you go for your profile updates? Is there a place in the app to go do that?
I'm sorry. What if she should be seeing her name? It's under the Me tab. I'm sorry. Maybe.
Okay. Gotcha.
Maybe not going. It doesn't just say me. It actually says homesnap.com/your name.
Your name. So, okay. Got
it. Yep. It'll say your name. And if for some reason the name is not, maybe you got married recently, maybe you changed it or it didn't come through in the MLS feed, we can modify it, but we really don't. You're not allowed to change the URL because there are so many other agents across the country that could have similar names. So just know that yeah.
Okay. Well, this is great, Stephanie. This is all of these are, you know, there's so many things that this app does, but I think you gave us some really interesting, like you say, some interesting hacks of ways to make this make more sense. So again, if someone's interested in learning more, if they want to just reach out to you, it's srall, R-A-L-L. It's in the chat at homesnap.com, and you can direct them or just go to homesnap.com and go to the bottom where it says university, and then there's all kinds of training for all these different ideas in there as well, right?
Training at homesnap.com. That's an easy one. If you can't remember my name, it's fine. It's training at homesnap.com. There are tons of resources, and we have, like I said, an amazing team that is always on hand to help. We have a heavy realtor, a heavy-sided realtor team. So I have quite a few practitioners on the team themselves, so they understand the business really well and make it relatable to what you actually do. They understand what it means to work and not get paid.
Yeah, it's not a tech trainer. This is a realtor that uses this stuff that can show you how to get advantage of it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Well, let me just remind us, or actually, so these are your three: Anna Johnson, is it Ronice?
Ronice, and Evelyn Polito. Yeah.
Evelyn Polito. So those are the three people, depending on where you live in the country, those are your three go-to folks that can help you really get the most out of this thing, because it's an awesome product.
They're amazing. Okay, so like each one of them is full of.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Each one of them is just chock full of information. So you can't go wrong with any of them.
Gotcha. So we've got two more coming up, and we have the links to register for those two in the chat box right now. Tomorrow we've got Cameron Payne, who is the Vice President of Industry Relations for Apartments.com, and he's going to kind of educate us on what's going on with the rental market, and then how can you somehow become part of that or take better advantage of it. He's going to give us a just a look at what's happening. We've been learning a lot about residential, but not as much about rental. And then on Monday, some of you may work with Rall. He's a longtime coach, trainer, speaker, had his own brokerage. He's phenomenal with Workman Success Systems. They've just created a new virtual real estate certification, which would be awesome to basically learn, like take all the things you've been learning on Coffee Chats and boil it down into something that you can truly take credit for when you're doing listing presentations, but importantly, really learn how to leverage all these virtual tools. So that's something that's neat. We'll be hearing from him on Monday. I can't wait to hear more about that. It's literally just hitting the presses as we speak. So you guys are getting a lot of sort of early looks at things on Coffee Chat, which is super fun. I want you guys to have the latest and greatest wherever you can. Next, I just wanted to invite anybody, if you'd like to, if you'd like us to sign you up automatically for Coffee Chats, just put your name in your email address in the question, or send it to me at marilyn@retechnology.com, and we will get you, we'll get you signed up so you get to see these come in every day. And then finally, if you have not yet done it, we'd love to have you subscribe to our YouTube channel at RE Technology Inc., exactly the way it's spelled there, with no space between the words. Subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell, and then you'll get automatically you'll get recordings that will come through the channel. Because you've registered, you'll also get an email with this recording of this one today and many others. So hopefully you won't miss out. And if you want to share what all the great ideas that Stephanie provided us today, feel free to share those. Those are anybody in your company or your friends in the business, or whoever you want to. We'd love you to do that. And then finally, you want to make sure that you all have full access to RE Technology, because we have directories of products, and we have success guides, and all kinds of different, daily articles like this, but in article form. So if you haven't, you should be able to get it through your MLS for free. If not, go to retechnology.com to the top right-hand side where it says Create Account. Use the monthly option, and then the codes that are there, and we'll give you a three-month subscription as well, because we want you to be able to keep learning from the smart folks like Stephanie that are sharing all of their great insights. So Stephanie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much. It was so good to see your face. I haven't seen you in person in a while, so it was so good to see you, and thank you for everyone who joined. I'm really grateful for that.
Absolutely. And again, hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. Come and join us with Cameron Payne. He is a character if you haven't met him. He will tell you the cold hard truth. He will not he will not sugarcoat anything. So you're going to hear the real story about what's going on with rentals. He's awesome. And then Rall on Monday. He's a great coach. People have used him for years and years. So with that, we'll tune out for today. Thanks everybody for coming. There's a couple that have asked for us to sign them up. We will be happy to do that for you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Pacific, noon Eastern. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.